What's going on, guys? Welcome back. This video is a very special video. I have a very special but regular guest in the academy. This is Adam BLACKADDER. He is the head of our Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu program here at Union Martial Arts. We're going to show you a little bit on how we combine FMA empty hand with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu grappling. So we're going to be working off of a full circle throw. Very, very common throw. So I'm just going to set myself up here. Adam's going to take me to the ground. And now Adam's going to work from here.
Okay, so starting from a knee on belly position, right? I'm just gonna have my weight or my knee right over his xiphoid process. So that's a very sensitive spot in the center of his chest. Right now I'm being nice to Mark, just so then for demonstration purposes. But naturally I'm gonna be really having my weight up on him, and you see the air coming out of his lungs. It's very uncomfortable. Naturally, this person's not gonna give me my arm. They're gonna keep their hands nice and tight to their chest, trying to defend, okay? A common reaction is for your opponent to put their hand right over your knee, all right? When this happens, he opens up a gap inside his arm. I'm going to swim inside his arm here and pull him up towards me, okay? So I'm reaching through and then grabbing right behind his shoulder. My other hand, I can come and press on his face to clear the head. I'm going to take a step now all the way around his body. So I step, I keep my body nice and low as I transition, and I come through to the armbar on the other side, okay? Holding my knees, pinching my knees nice and tight. My hands are going to squeeze together, keeping the thumb up towards the ceiling. And then from here, I pinch and lift my hips and get the tap, okay? It's important when you're finishing to always go towards the direction of the thumb. So even if his thumb's turned to the side, this way, I'm going to bend the arm back to the opposite angle. So it's always best, I find, you get the most leverage when I'll grab the wrist and turn his hand straight up and keep double grips on the wrist, okay? And then lift. All right? So one more position. So starting again. So he's gonna come here, keep his arms nice and tight. I'm gonna swim through, but this time he's gonna end up defending, okay? So I'm coming through with his arm, lift him up, I step, turn and pivot. This time he's gonna grab his wrists together. So we're just gonna turn for the camera. Yeah, exactly like this. Okay? So I come over for the armbar, he ends up grabbing his wrists, like so, okay? To defend. So now when I go to lean back, it's much more difficult. So now I'm gonna take my top leg, well, keep my grip, first of all, sorry. I'm gonna keep this arm straight through, my other hand over the wrist, making sure this is nice and secure. So I'm controlling the arm still. I'm gonna take my top leg and I'm gonna swim it through his arms, okay? My other foot comes off and I place it on his hip, and I'm gonna pressure here and create a fixed point. Now with this leverage that I've created off of his hip, I'm gonna use my arms and press down towards his hips to break that grip. And now I can just keep going and get the Kimura, all right? Even here, if he defends or he's very difficult, I can always switch back and go back to a full armbar as well, all right?
Okay, so there's a couple of situations where you'll get down to that knee on belly or that side control position, and a lot of the times in Filipino martial arts we look to finish it right there. Very limited groundwork, so having that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background, being able to add in these different positional changes and being able to get those submissions will really solidify the fact that when you take someone down in FMA, you're not guessing, you're not hoping that it ends right there, because you always want to have that room for failure, room for error as a human being, doesn't matter what martial arts you do. So having that kind of background and having that confidence, you'll flow seamlessly from Filipino martial arts to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu almost as if it was just one entire art, and that's kind of our goal right now with Union Martial Arts. So Adam, you have another one for us?
Yeah, so straight from side control. So even if I land knee on belly and he starts to shrimp, I can't get this hook underneath the arm. I'm just gonna drop straight down to side control here. Okay, so chest on chest, and I make sure I have this underhook on the far side, and my lead hand up here, make sure I have good head control, okay? So I'm gonna be arms right underneath, I'm gonna reach and grab right behind his armpit down here. And I'm gonna use that as a lever now. And as I pull my arm to my shoulder, I drive his face the other way. So whatever direction the head goes, the body goes. And I don't want him turning towards me, so I make sure his face is facing away from me, and now he can't turn into me, okay? With with my body weight down, I'm gonna use my back knee, so the knee that's closest to his head, and I'm gonna bring it back and put it by his hip, and I'm gonna slide my leg up and along his body to isolate this arm. So usually this arm was down here by his side. I brought my knee to his hip and I slid it across his body to bring it up to isolate, right? And now see how his arm's far away from his body? That's exactly what I want. I'm gonna transition on my hips now. So I'm gonna bring my back knee, keeping weight on his chest, I bring my back knee up towards his head. And I switch my body, making sure I stay tight on this arm. And with my this high knee now, step over his head. And I have the arm bar underneath this side. All I have to do is keep my elbow pinched, lean back and drive forward with my hips. Okay? Since if this arm's just hanging out here and doing nothing, I can start attacking this arm too. So I put his wrist to my head. With his arm. And now with my hands clasped together right underneath his elbow, tap. And I'm gonna attack this arm as well. If he decides to defend by bringing his hand in front of my face, so yeah, exactly. So he brings his hand in front of my face, I can always roll my hand on the inside, grab his wrist, so thumb down, fingers to the outside, and I'm gonna transition back at the same time coming underneath his arm and locking up a key lock here. I'm gonna pull his elbow close to his his elbow close to his side, and now just elevate my arm, right? So the position without his arm being there, I reach underneath his elbow, grab my own wrist, and now I'm lifting my my backside elbow to get the submission. All right? One more time? Yep, sure. So one more time going through the entire sequence. So even if he keeps his arm here by his side, I get the side control, isolate, make sure you get this underhook here, okay? I bring my knee up, back, and I slide it up to isolate that arm. All right, switching my hips and stepping over the head. I have an arm bar on the near side. He leaves his arm here. I have the inverted arm bar on this side. He decides to defend by bringing his hand in front of my face. So now I grab, 4 fingers out, thumb down, transition back to side control, right into the key lock, bringing his elbow down by his side and lifting the elbow, getting the key lock, okay? Or Americana. It can be, the names are interchangeable.
So, one of the things that I implore everyone, if you guys are watching this channel and you guys have been following me and my expertise is in Filipino martial arts, don't be naive and think that because you can take someone down that you can end it in one shot. And a lot of the times you'll see that Brazilian jiu-jitsu and Filipino martial arts is like a perfect marriage in art, and they flow seamlessly from one position to the other. And I'll personally say from experience, because Adam's actually my instructor as well, so I'm training underneath him, and I have a lot of things to teach him in Khalid, but that pressure that he puts on in side control and things of that nature, like, even if I wanted to fight it, man, it is a tough position to get out of. So you're gonna find yourself in scrambles, you're gonna find yourself in these ugly scenarios, just like you would in Khalid. You think that disarm or that flow is gonna happen so effortlessly, like that's more of a training concept, but when it comes down to it, the nitty-gritty stuff, it's really messy. So having that kind of background, having that kind of expertise is going to get you to that next level, and most importantly, it's going to help you flow without kind of feeling the pressure and getting too nervous about making a mistake or making an incorrect setup and things of that nature, right? So,
and if I could just add one thing, I find that jiu-jitsu helps a lot too, just in regards to being able to isolate an opponent or in a self-defense situation an attacker. So then therefore you can restrain them without causing like traumatic damage and then dealing with like other repercussions later on. So this way you're able to almost isolate the joint, so then the aggressor could comply with you, and then either rationalize with the person or, you know, wait till help comes or whatever it is. But if the situation is like really heated and it's your life, you know, then obviously you have to do what you have to do. But just be willing, like, know that there's other options available, right?
Couldn't have said it better myself. So guys, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe already. If you guys think Adam should have his own channel, make sure you comment below and let us know. He's got tons of dope knowledge. He's extremely gifted and skilled on the ground. So he's got plenty to share. If you don't see him on his own channel shortly, you'll see him on this one definitely for sure. And until next time, guys, as always, catch you guys then.
Peace.